I'm hidden in the corner of the garden in the little bit of shade that we have right now. It's midday, but I just kind of wanted to sit down and talk about the drip irrigation that I'm, as you can see behind me, kind of semi in the middle of. But I just wanted to talk about what I'm doing and kind of my thoughts behind it and what materials I'm using. So the main 1/2-inch drip irrigation hose, I chose this size because it's a gravity fed system, so I want to keep it pretty large until it hits the 1/4-inch drip line. This is actually a soaker hose line that I used for the potatoes, and I'll also use for the hugelkultur bed. But the other inch or other 1/4-inch drip line is not porous, so the water won't seep out, but it's coated on the inside. But the reason is for this is because since it's dropping down to such a small size, it will build up a lot of pressure, so it helps when you have a gravity fed system. I'm using, where did this other one go? I'm using these 90s. They're not compression, but they're the kind that you just kind of fit the hose on, because I'm finding that with my arthritis, these compression fittings, I just could not. So what you're supposed to do is this plastic piece is smaller than the hoses. And if, you know, I tried letting it sit in the sun, I put it in boiling hot water to try to make the hose more pliable. And then you squeeze it into the T, and then as it hardens, it expands, so it holds the T and the hose in place. I'm just not able to do these. So instead of just running a single line of hose and popping a T in the middle and then, you know, pulling 1/2-inch piping to go to each bed, I'm just doing kind of a U for each bed, to where I do a 90, run the hose until I need it to turn, and then pop another 90. And these are way easier. Like, you just kind of wiggle them in. And then you're done. So a little bit of force, but if you kind of just wiggle it into place, I'm able to do this with not a ton of grip strength because of my arthritis. So I'm finding that a lot easier, and I'm using a little bit more tubing, but the tubing isn't too expensive. I think it was like $50 for 200 feet. So I might as well use a little bit more, and then this will allow me in the future, you know, and for fall beds or for next spring planting, to put more emitter lines for the 1/4-inch. And so what you do is you'll take these 1/4-inch emitters for drip line, and then you just pop them anywhere along the 1/2-inch piping, and you don't have to put too much pressure. I bought a little kit from Home Depot that had an emitter application tool. So you just kind of push this in there, and it just allows you to get a little bit more force just to pop it through the one side of the wall. And then once it's in there, you'll have your emitter inside your hose, and then you just pop this onto your other sections. So then you can run, you know, each individual line to, you know, a set of plants, to individual plants, or you can run it to a soaker hose. And then if you're doing like microgreens or something like that, that you'll have plenty of surface area and hose to water all of your plants based on their watering needs. And so this one, you have a 1/4-inch T, so you could, this section would be in the 1/2-inch hose, and then you could run an additional section on here. And then this is actually closed off, so you couldn't run anything on here. So it's basically just a T. And then this is just a single emitter. And kind of, I'll give you a little bit of a close up so you can kind of see. So this is the section, this little top section where it's barbed is where, or flared out, is where the hose will go, and then the sharpened kind of barb section that is vented is what you put inside the 1/2-inch hosing. And then I'll go over and show you guys the setup for the timer and the hose splitters. So here I have the water supply coming in the top, going into this Y. The left side is hooked up to a standard hose, and it's closed right now since it's you can see that the nozzles turn the other way, and the right side is hooked up to my timer, and then the timer's hooked up to the 1/2-inch irrigation hose, and that runs kind of around into the beds, and then everything in the beds has either direct emitters or drip hose. So you can kind of see everybody's hooked up. Now we just have to bury everything and put in the hay. And that's all the extra hose I have left. Let me know if you guys have any questions. It's pretty simple. It just takes a lot of time. Thank you so much for watching. Look who I found. Little Rotten. In the garden. Baby, you can't get out that way. You have to go out the other way. Come on. Go on. Go on. Go out.